What's Had to get a little goofy with you guys, but welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you all are having a great day. Had to go a little old school from the scary movie days. Today we're going to be talking about people not going after their dreams and the different excuses that they're always using for why they're not going after their dreams. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like the video if you like it and subscribe and share. Take it easy. How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Today we're going to have a great discussion in regards to do not let your struggle become the reason or the excuse for why you do not go after your dreams. A lot of people do this. Number one reason I say people do this is because they get involved in their comfort zone and they waste a lot of time doing things that have nothing to do with pursuing their goals and aspirations. I'm just saying, and we're going to go over a couple of those things that I believe, and even a couple of studies believe, while a lot of people are not going after their dreams because they're wasting what little free time they have during the week and on the weekends or whatever time that they're off, doing minute things that are just enriching other people but not enriching themselves. So, first topic we're going to start off with is obvious. Social media. Right now we're on social media, so it's the gift and the curse, like a lot of things are in life. You know, a lot of great things is about social media is it connects a lot of people. I think that's awesome. But a lot of times the people get so caught up in the minutiae, as my mother would say, of social media that they forget to pay attention to the things that are most important in life. Whether it could be their kids, it could be their significant other, it could, definitely be their dreams. And in this discussion, we're just going to concentrate on the dreams, but I had to put those other caveats in there because those are just as important as your dreams are all at the same time. And it says, according to research, the one that productivity is cut by 70% of people's lives because they spend so much time on social media hoping that somebody hearts or likes or comments on their specific post, but it says that out of every American, they at least have five social media websites, and your average American spends about an hour and 40 minutes browsing social media a day. Now that's just browsing. That's not even, factoring in the posting and the engagement that happen on social media and on different social media outlets. Is there anything wrong with doing that? Absolutely not. But I think that one thing that is very wrong with this is if you're spending an exuberant amount of time on social media. And most people that I know don't have but a Facebook account and a YouTube account, but they mostly, when they're even on Facebook, they're even on social media, they're usually on their Facebook account. Now, I have other accounts of social media, full disclosure. I utilize them, mainly for business purposes with Facebook, keep up with friends and family and whatnot, because it's just the beautiful thing about social media is it's the easiest way to keep up with your relatives and friends, especially if they live across the world, because people are more spread out from each other, and social media is one of those great outlets that help connect us all at the same time. So I'm not downing social media because I'm utilizing it for my business, for crying out loud. I'm not downing it. I'm just saying that having an exuberant amount of time on it to the point where it seems like it becomes a part-time job, and if it's not part of your job or part of your business, I just say you should look into how you're spending your time, because if you're spending all these hours a day or during the week on social media, then you're kind of killing the productivity or any chance you might have of pursuing your dream. If you're not even at least if you're going to spend that much time on social media, utilize social media so that you can pursue your dreams. I think that's what I'm doing. So I think everybody else should do the same thing. If you're going to be on it, make it useful. That's the whole beautiful thing about this discussion. I'm not downing it. I'm just saying utilize it in a different fashion instead of just figuring out what's going on in politics or the entertainment industry. If that's not your business, who cares? One of my favorite movies, The Pursuit of Happiness, and I remember when I was going through a time of being unemployed, and it reminds me why I'm in the entrepreneurial spectrum right now, how hard things were, but the determination kept me going on. And in this movie, if you have not seen In the Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith plays a person named Chris Gardner. It's based on a true story, who was prior military. He was in the Navy. He was a salesman. He was actually a failure at being a salesman, but he was actually he met somebody who was actually a stockbroker and a financial advisor, and he knew that he was great with books. I mean, not great with books, but great with numbers. And he took the leap of faith to actually go into a financial advisor, stockbrokers firm, and interview for an internship. So, and this is back during the 80s when mostly internship, in the 1980s, mostly internships meant free labor, because essentially you went to an internship and you didn't get paid. And they've changed that now a lot, because I would imagine that in today's economy, most people can't afford to do that for their, people can barely get by with some of the salaries that they're making now. So working for free is usually not on people's mindset. So, but anyways, I digress. Great movie. The main reason why I'm talking about this movie is because of, he had to work harder than everybody else, which means he had to give up things that other people weren't willing to give up, such as drinking water, eating on his lunch break. He would eat after work, so he would spend the whole 8 hours, which they would be there for 10 hours, but he had to pick up his son. So he would spend 8 hours working, not drinking any water and not consuming any food. Therefore, that gave him an extra hour, because he wasn't taking any bathroom breaks and he wasn't getting it from his desk. So he was at his desk the whole time. And with him not even, because back then, that was back when people had to talk to each other, he wouldn't hang up his phone, so he'd actually just hit the dial tone with his finger, and that gave him an extra 15 minutes into his day. So that's what the thing is, work harder and smarter all at the same time in order to become that much more effective. And because he did this, not only did he, and I'm talking about like the actual real character, he did this, he had to sleep in homeless shelters, he gave up a lot to pursue his dream, because he was in pursuit of his happiness. He didn't just want to work for anybody anymore. He wanted to have a great job. And then eventually he opened up his own financial advisory firm there in California. I think it's great. It's a great story. Hardships. And if you actually read the real story, there's a lot more details involved in what Chris Gardner had to go through. But I still think it's an amazing story. And I think that it shows that when you're determined to do something, you start out at the bottom and then you will work your way up to the top. I think it's awesome. So that's why I wanted to use that little story, and then it segues into something else. In life, if you have dreams, goals, and aspirations, and you're not going at it in the right way, especially one thing, if you have a significant other, and you have a significant other that is considered to be dead weight, and I mean dead weight meaning they're not pursuing any goals or aspirations like you are, then essentially you have a good chance of that relationship or marriage not working, because power couples means both individuals are contributing to the power of that couple, building the power of that couple. And you've got a great example here with Jay-Z and Beyonce, former President Barack Obama, his wife Michelle Obama, individuals who have a power couple mentality, and not only do they enjoy the finer things in life, but they give back all at the same time, and they contribute things to the economy all at the same time. So, but they had that same mindset, and they had that mindset when they met each other, and that's what you need. You can't just be half of a power couple, because that's essentially you're not a power couple. You just have a person with some power. One person chasing a dream and the other one doing a status quo. Status quo does not fit in line with people who chase their dreams, because not only dream chasers, but dream achievers are the ones who think and live outside of the box. And you cannot have somebody with you who's not willing to do that, because all they will do, whether it's a male or female, they will slow you down. So if you do not have the same goals and aspirations of your significant other, do yourself a favor, talk it out, and if you don't see yourself getting on the same page, do yourself another even bigger favor. Let it go. That's all I can say. But at the end of the day, we'll move on to my next segue. The amount of time that people spend on the internet. People spend an exuberant amount of time on the internet. I'm one of those people. But a lot of that time is just useless time, because according to the national average within the United States of America, people spend about 27 hours per week browsing the internet. 27 hours per week browsing the internet. That says a lot. Now, a lot of times it's people doing their own research. A lot of times people are communicating with their loved ones. But then a lot of the times, just a lot of people just searching a bunch of nonsense that have nothing to do with their goals and aspirations and achieving their dreams. And that's enough for a part-time job. 27. I used to work a part-time job. When I was working 2 to 3 jobs at one time, and it was 20 hours a week for my part-time job, 40 hours a week for my full-time job. But that was me just making money so I could put myself in a better place financially. So that was contributing that time to something much more useful. But a lot of people just browsing the internet for the sake of browsing the internet. You're sucking away time away from your dreams. And then, hey, if you're just comfortable with just working a job for somebody for the rest of your life and climbing the job ladder, and if that job ladder has something to do with your dream, then go for it. Hey, I look at it like that. If you're trying to climb the ladder at your job and in your company, then hey, guess what you got to do? Study, go back to school, get a certification. The list goes on and on if that's what your goals are. But I'm talking, really, this video is for the people who have goals and aspirations outside of being an employee. So I've just, full disclosure on that all at the same time, but that time can be utilized to chase your dream. I say that I can't kick the can down the road so much on that one, But last but not least, the one crazy thing is, and hey, I've been guilty of this. I'm not guilty of this anymore, but I've been guilty of this. A lot of people, obviously, cell phones are just a part of our life, their way of life. It's like breathing. Hey, some days I wake up, first thing I do is, before I even take my dogs out to go to the bathroom, I look at my cell phone. It's a part of breathing. But the amount of time that I spend on my cell phone has been cut significantly. But it says that the least amount of time that people spend on their cell phones nowadays is 90 minutes a day. And a lot of people just contribute that because people have to be at their jobs and they cannot usually be on their cell phones during working hours. They can get terminated for stuff like that nowadays, especially if you live in a right to work state, or if you're running a business, you really shouldn't have much time to be on your cell phone unless it's business related, but I'm with Denzel Washington. If you've ever seen the video with him on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, like I said, I utilize social media. That's why I said I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying, don't make your cell phone the center of your universe. It's a part of your universe. It's a part of your life, but don't make it the center of your universe like it's the sun and the moon. I've learned to not do that. As the sun sets, the moon comes around, and vice versa. Don't make it so to that point unless it's a part of chasing your goals and aspiration. Don't just make it a part of entertainment, because with so many distractions nowadays, it just makes things harder and harder to focus on in life. And that's just keeping it real. I can't emphasize that enough. It is very hard to stay focused nowadays, because you have so much technology that's just distracting us. Like for millennials, my generation, and I would imagine the younger generation, sitting in a room with no television and no cell phone and no computer will probably drive people crazy. They'd probably end up in a nut house if they couldn't have it, because it's become a part of life. Now we'll talk about the people with the families. This isn't anything negative and derogatory about people with families, but I will say, that a lot of people will use that they have kids or a significant other as an excuse for why they cannot go after their dreams and aspirations when they get off the clock. And I go old school and I say bunk on that. And why do I say that? Because I know they'll say, well, Larry, you don't really have that experience. Well, let me tell you about people that I know that I grew up with that have that experience. I start with one of my brothers from another mother, Christopher Edwards. Grew up, known each other since elementary school. Great guy, went after his dreams, continuously goes after his dreams. He's married, he has a child, he has responsibilities, but yet he works a full-time job. He maintains a great marriage, and he has his own business at the same time. So he's doing all things that society wants him to do as far as being a good, upstanding citizen, but yet and still he finds time throughout his day to go after his goals and aspirations outside of being an employee. He should be commended for it. Then I bring up another one, a person I grew up with. Cindy Reds. She has a bunch of kids, full-time job, and a business on the side. Does not use her children as an excuse for why she can't go after her goals and aspiration. And the list could go on and on, because I got people like that in my family. But that's just a great example of what you make a priority is what you make a priority. And the thing is, I don't have time, is because you're really not making that a priority. You make a priority for things that are the most important in life. And if just doing the status quo is a part of your dream, then have at it. More power to you. You know, I got no complaints about that. I'm just saying that. But if you have a dream and you end up close to your deathbed and you have all these shoulda, coulda, wouldas, that's when I know a life is sadly wasted, because that's the moment you're not going to be able to do everything that you want in life, but get at least 70 to 80% close. That's all I can say. You got one life, you got to live it. And then the thing most people fall into, unfortunately, is the comfort zone. And the comfort zone for a while is okay, but a comfort zone for the rest of your life is considered a death/prison sentence. Why do I say that? Because the job that people are given, a lot of people will end up with their dream job, but the thing with any job is that for the most part, especially nowadays, your salary is your expectation, creates the expectation in the existence of what your lifestyle is. It's just the truth. And when you get into a comfort zone of a job, that's when people end up becoming bitter employees, because they're putting all this time and emphasis on a job instead of putting time and emphasis. It's like put the time and emphasis and the energy and the blood, sweat, and tears into the job first. Then do the exact same thing by putting it into your dreams. You know, it's like the head chef can be the restaurant owner. A friend of mine, her and her husband, you know, they were head chefs. Now they own a restaurant in Washington, D.C., a great restaurant at that. You know, so it's just like, it's everything in life is about levels. It's like going through grade school or going through college. Your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year, then your graduation. And that's what a job should be. Okay, you start off as an intern, you become an employee, and you become an employee, you get promoted, and then you figure out what's next. Don't just climb the ladder, because remember, when that job disappears, and nowadays you have a great chance of your job disappearing, you want at least one backup plan to say, hey, not only is this going to cover me financially, but this might even actually be looked at as another opportunity. And that's how you have to look at life sometimes. You know, old movie back in the day, back when I was a kid, the movie with Tom Cruise called Jerry Maguire. He was the head sports agent within California and Los Angeles. And then next thing you know, it was all taken away because he wrote an article talking about how jacked up his industry was, and they fired him. And his life was flipped upside down, and he had to end up starting his own company. And it turned into, he went from victory to loser/failure. From failure to victor, because he got one client, and then he started to get more clients, and then he became more of a success in the business that he was in, but doing it as an owner and not just a worker. That is the thing. He had to leave his comfort zone to take it to the next level. You know, that salary is one thing. No, scratch that. The salary is two things. It's for you to pay your bills and to live off of. And the second thing is for you to forget about your dreams and who you are. Do not become that person. That's all I gotta say. And then when it comes to people following their dreams, they always say the economy. Yes, I know the economy goes up and down like a wave. Up and down like a wave, like you're in the ocean. You know, it's a boom and bust economy within the United States. But guess what? That's why you prepare for the storm. You have your major investments, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in stocks, whether it's in bonds, cryptocurrency, whatever have you. You have your investments. Then you have money saved away. And then you get with the right people too at the end of the day, because the relationships that you build can turn into something enormous if you have the relationships with the right people who have the same goals and aspirations, or they might even turn you on to another goal, aspiration, or a dream that you never even knew that you could ever have, but because you're with the right people, you can make it happen. It's like a buddy of mine, Adrian, you know, going into real estate together. You know, he might have his little doubts, but he's willing to go to it because opportunity's been presented to him. It's like opportunity's been presented to me. That's what it's all about. It's not only just about making good money. It's not just about investing it into good things, but it's about being with the right people. And that can help you accomplish your dreams all at the same time. But if you're spending time with people who have mediocre plans and aspirations, I won't even say dreams, you know. And when I say mediocre, meaning just I'm going to get a good job in an overpriced house, an overpriced car, living in a nice suburb neighborhood. That's been done 1,000 times in 2018 and beforehand. You know, get some other dream. Let that be a starting point, but get a starting point outside of that. It's been done. And I definitely can speak for the people in the DMV because I see it every freaking day. I leave it at that. but that the American economy is a boom and bust. The next crash will come eventually. Who knows? Look up and do the research yourself. The researchers say because when the economy is doing so good, that's when you got to worry when is the next bust going to come, because we live in a boom and bust society no matter who the president is. I'll leave it at that. Now, when it comes to television, this tripped me out a lot. Doesn't surprise me because when I really look back on my life, I think I kind of fall in this category at the same time. Back in the day, not so much now. But according to recent studies, what is it? The average American spends about 6 to 10 hours a week watching television. 6 to 10 hours a week. That's a lot of television to be watched. 6 to 10 hours a week, and up to some points it could be 15 hours a week, depending on the person. And I have the smart TV up here because I love the reference from the movie Barbershop, when the character Eddie said, "Smartphone, dumb girl," and it's the same thing. Smartphone, dumb guy. And you have a lot of people that have smartphones and smart TVs, but they're just dumb as a bunch of rocks because their whole conversation and the whole mental capacity consists of what's on their cell phone from an entertainment perspective and what's on their smart TV from an entertainment perspective. Read a book. My next segue. I read up to 4 to 5 different books throughout the week, and I usually a couple of pages, or sometimes I can read up to a whole book, depending how great the book is. Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. So, second time I'm reading this book. Excellent book. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me motivated to continuously want to continue to go, and I would highly advise you to read that book or get the audio copy of it, however makes you happy, because it will inspire you and it will have you thinking outside of the box that most people are put into because of the workforce and the colleges that they go to, because they're training you to be obedient workers, not to become bosses. Bosses have to think outside the boxes. Dream achievers have to think and live outside of the boxes. That's why you should never shun or shame anybody who's willing to go outside of the box, live outside of the box, and do things in a professional yet intelligent manner outside of the box. Kudos to you all that are doing that. I appreciate you if nobody else does. So, but I'll leave it at that. That's my little soapbox. Read a book. Open it up. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bite you. Knowledge is power, no matter what kind of knowledge is obtained. I tell you, I'd rather soak in more knowledge than anything else throughout the day of my life. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. Next, and this one, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for. I don't care, because that's why we call it There Is Anything Goes, because my perspective on sports is this. I don't watch sports. Don't care about sports. I know I'm not considered to be the normal guy, but that's why I always talk about this. Reading, being, and living outside of the box. I don't knock anybody who's into sports. I know people will take it that way, but I'm not. And I repeat, I am not knocking anybody who's into sports. But here's the caveat to me not knocking it. You had people that spend up to 18 to 25 hours a week. This is the most out of all the other categories I've gone over. 18 to 25 hours a week watching sports within the United States. It is just insane. And I know some people will multitask, especially with today's technology, to listen to what's going on, but yet they're still going after their dreams, whether they're going to school or they're trying to create a business or they're trying to get a promotion, things of that nature. So you have a lot of people that are great at the multitasking aspect, but you have a lot of people that spend the same amount of time that they could have a part-time job and make more money, have less of a life and make more money watching sports. And I know everybody needs their outlet. Hey, I love to socialize as much as the next person, but to spend that many hours a week doing it, I can see, like, my social time, I could say it consists of maybe 40 hours out of the year of social time to this magnitude, not from a sports perspective, but doing other social activities. But I could never see myself spending that much time doing that a week and following people who have already achieved their dreams and are making millions and billions of dollars while doing it and enjoying themselves, whether it's on the football, basketball, baseball field. I just can't see myself spending all that time doing that, and knowing where they've been traded, where they're located, their whole bio. I can understand it if you were in the sports industry, because there's a lot of money to be made in the sports industry, but I will never understand how many people spend up to almost 30 hours a week watching and listening to sports, you know. So that's just what it is. It's like we got to do better if we're going to achieve our dreams. You know, I mean, who cares about what football players doing what? You know, nothing against LeBron James. I really don't care about him going to the LA Lakers. You know, only reason why it piqued my interest because LA is my favorite city in the United States of America. California is my favorite state in the United States of America. So that's I'm like, okay, he's going to my favorite state. That's about it. Outside of that, I think what LeBron James is doing from a business perspective interests me more than how great of a basketball player he is. But that's just my opinion. That's where my priorities lie at, you know, because that's just how I look at it. So, anyways, if you find yourself in this category, it's just, and if you feel like, hey, you've peaked in your life and you don't really feel like you have any other goals and aspirations to achieve, then more power to you. You know, hey, I don't knock it. I'm just talking to the people that have goals and aspirations outside of following into the social norm, and people who are willing to take those calculated risks on any level to not only achieve their dreams, but in a sense, when you achieve your dreams, you're helping improve the quality of life of the people around you, whether it's friends or family. So I'll leave it at that. That's all she wrote. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please share. Please subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week. It's always been a pleasure.